The NCAA had an Elliot Cadeau problem.
RJ Davis, Zayden High, Armando Baycott, Paxson Wojcik, and
now Cadeau on the...
North Carolina recruited the #1 point guard in the country, a 5-star, a generational passer, the best playmaker in his class, then buried him, forced him to play a style that wasn't his, watched him struggle, let him walk. And the kid they gave up on, he just won the national championship and was named the best player in the entire tournament. But here's what nobody wants to say out loud. Cadeau's story isn't just about basketball. It's about a system that almost destroyed a player it couldn't understand. And it starts in a soundproof room when Elliot was 4 years old. The doctor covered his left ear. She said a word. Silence. She said another word. Nothing. Elliot Cadeau was 4 years old, sitting alone in a soundproof booth in a medical office in New Jersey. His mother, Michelle, was watching through the glass. Right there in that moment, they found out Elliot was completely deaf in his right ear, born that way, no explanation, just gone. Most parents would panic. Michelle Cadeau, Swedish born, tough as they come, decided it meant nothing about what her son could become. She pushed him toward basketball, not football, even though Elliot loved football. Jets fan, wanted to play. She said no, too dangerous. And because of that one decision, basketball got one of the most gifted passers of his generation. But here's what nobody understood about that soundproof room. It didn't just reveal a disability, it built a superpower. Because when you can't hear everything, you learn to see everything. His coaches noticed it early. When drills started, little Elliot always ran to the back of the line. Not because he was shy, because he needed to watch everyone else first, read the movement, understand the pattern, anticipate the next action. He couldn't hear every instruction from his right side, so he learned to read the entire floor before anyone else did. That habit, that instinct, became his signature as a point guard. The ability to see a pass before the play even developed. Court vision, literally. By high school, Elliot Cadeau was something special. Bergen Catholic, New Jersey, one of the top programs in the state. He walks in as a freshman, deaf in one ear, smaller than half the guys on the roster, and immediately becomes the best player on the floor. 11.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, 4.2 assists as a freshman. Max Prep's freshman All-American. Same list that once featured LaMelo Ball, same list that featured Marvin Bagley. Then disaster. Sophomore year, he tears his ankle in a scrimmage. Season over, just like that. Most players lose confidence after a year away. They come back hesitant, scared, half of what they were. Cadeau came back angry. He transfers to Link Academy, Missouri, one of the elite basketball prep schools in the entire country. Nike's finishing school for future pros, and what he does there is almost unfair. 27 wins, 1 loss, GECO Nationals Championship. In the tournament, 29 assists across 3 games, a tournament record on the EYBL circuit, Nike's elite AAU league. He's averaging 19.4 points and 7.4 assists. ESPN's #1 ranked point guard in the country, 5 stars, the whole thing. Texas Tech had been his dream school growing up. He visited, he liked it, but when North Carolina called, when one of the most legendary programs in the history of college basketball said, "We want you," you go. Jordan played there, Vince Carter played there, James Worthy played there, Cadeau committed to the Tar Heels. He was 18 years old, deaf in one ear, and about to walk into the best and worst 2 years of his basketball life. But before we get to UNC, there's something else you need to know. Because the ear wasn't the only thing Elliot Cadeau was dealing with. Freshman year at North Carolina, he starts noticing something wrong, not with his right ear, with his left eye, his good eye, his only reliable eye, the one he uses to read the floor, the one a point guard lives and dies by. He gets tested. The diagnosis, keratoconus. It's a condition where your cornea, the front of your eye, gets thinner and starts warping outward, pushing forward into a cone shape. Imagine looking through glass that's slowly cracking. Everything starts to distort. Distances become uncertain. The lines on a basketball court stop being straight. For a shooter, this is a problem. For a point guard whose entire game is built on seeing what nobody else sees, this is terrifying. He had surgery, he recovered, he came back and played. Think about that for a second. Deaf in one ear since birth. Eye surgery, mid college career, playing with asthma on top of everything. And he's still on the floor, still running the point, still putting up numbers. Cadeau never once used any of it as an excuse. Not publicly, not in interviews, not once, because that's not who he is. Here's where the story gets complicated, because what happened to Elliot Cadeau at North Carolina wasn't just a rough patch. It was a player being forced into a shape that wasn't his. His numbers, solid. Freshman year, 7.3 points, 4.1 assists. Sophomore year, 9.4 points, 6.2 assists. Second in the entire ACC in assists. 231 total assists, best by a UNC player in 13 years. But something was off, and his brother explained it publicly, bluntly, on social media. The UNC system under Hubert Davis had rules: no mid range shots, no floaters. If you drive, you finish at the rim or you kick it out. The problem? The mid range pull up was one of Cadeau's best weapons. The floater, the shot that separates great small guards from average ones, was another. So what happened? Every drive, Cadeau was forced to go all the way, into the teeth of college defenders, bigger guys, waiting for him, and the turnovers came. 113 for the season, most in the ACC. Watch the tape from that sophomore year. That's not the kid who set assist records at Link Academy. That's a player second guessing every decision, hesitating on shots he used to make in his sleep, passing up looks because the system said no. He was a Ferrari in second gear. The NBA almost does this too. Takes a player with a specific, real elite skill set and asks him to be something he's not. Cadeau wasn't broken, the system was. UNC gets bounced in the first round of the tournament. Days later, Cadeau enters the transfer portal. Immediate tag, do not contact. He already knew where he was going. Michigan, his exact words to 247 Sports. The coaching staff believe in me and know what I can do. I want to play in an offense that best suits me. 2 years at one of the greatest programs in college basketball, and he walked away knowing he had more to prove. Michigan gave Elliot Cadeau one thing UNC never did: freedom. Freedom to shoot the mid range, freedom to use the floater, freedom to be the guy the play runs through. First game as a Wolverine, November 3rd, 2025, against Oakland, 14 assists in his debut, most by any Michigan player in 4 years, in his first game. 1 week later, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. By midseason, he's shooting 37.7% from three. Compare that to 33.7% at UNC. Nearly twice as many three pointers made in one season at Michigan than in his entire 2 years at Carolina. He wasn't a broken player, he was a great player stuck in the wrong system. The difference is everything. Then March came, NCAA Tournament 2026. Game 1, 7 assists. Game 2, 8 assists. Game 3, 9 assists. Game 4, 7 assists. Every single first round game. Consistent, dominant, unshakable. Michigan reaches the Final Four. Then the national championship game. Michigan wins. First national title since 1989. And Elliot Cadeau, the kid from the soundproof booth, the kid who had eye surgery, the kid UNC's system couldn't fit, the kid people called inconsistent and turnover prone, is named most outstanding player of the entire NCAA tournament.